Sajan Sai Maharaj Nijay. So we have a very young, talented poet and an artist amongst us. Any guesses? That's his work. Rishi, that's right. So it's what he wrote was really beautiful and inspiring. So I'm just going to read it. So first of all, he has drawn a picture on the left-hand side, and he's pointed that it's saying human form of Bhagwan. So in that covers like 95% of philosophy and upasana, that Bhagwan is Sakar and he incarnates amongst us. So that's his first thing that he has drawn. Then he's writing Happy Birthday Swaminarayan Bhagwan. And then he's written a poem. And it goes like this. You have helped me with my fears. So, O Swaminarayan Bhagwan, you have helped me with my fears. I'm trying to block my tears. You have helped me with my fears. I'm trying to block my tears. I don't know what I'd do without you. You gave us Dinkar Dada. You please as we go. If you leave our sight, try to do it slow. If you leave our sight, try to do it slow. I am one devotee trying to become Brahmrup. Please help me with that by always being my Brahm Swarup. Rishi Shah. And on the bottom, another thing he wrote, which is very interesting on the bottom, so he wrote Yogi Divine Society, and then half Anupam Mission. So Bhaj, what does this mean, half Anupam Mission? So we are all same and one. That's why I just wrote that. So again, a very universal vision at this young age. Thank you, Rishi Bhai. Rishi, you want to come and take Pagelag, Dingar Uncle? Take a picture with him? Yeah, Rishi, paper, Rishi, yeah, paper.
Sahajanand Swami Maharaj Nijay. So now we have very unique activity or એક નવી ગેમ છે. It's called panel discussion. કે આપણે ટીવીમાં કે એમાં જોતા હોય તો બે ત્રણ ફિલ્ડના જે એક્સપર્ટ હોય એ બેઠા હોય અને ઓડિયન્સ હોય તે ક્વેશ્ચન આન્સર કરતા હોય અને પેનલના જે એક્સપર્ટ હોય એ એના આન્સર આપે. સો ઓલ રિક્વેસ્ટ કે બધા एवरीवन सभी लोग कोई ना एक क्वेश्चन लिखो और आपको है तो क्वेश्चन लिखो और हमारे पैनल एक्सपर्ट है उसका आंसर करेंगे. और हमारे पैनल एक्सपर्ट में है पिंटू भाई, विराट भाई इज द सेम, देन वंदन भाई and our Chaitanya Bhai. So they are our expert. They have worked so hard on. And Das Uncle. Das Uncle is always, is a master of Dhoon, so we cannot forget him. So please, have your question ready, and we will ask our experts to elaborate or to, make ourselves more clear about Dhoon, about Bhajan, Kirtan, about Smruti, any kind of question you have regarding mantra or Smaran or Bhajan or anything. So we'll invite our guest. Please sit here, Chaitanya Bhai, please. Das Kaka, aage aao. Vandan Bhai, please. So we will do this for about 30 minutes or so, and then...
Hello.
Das Kaka. Das Kaka, please sit on the orange. That's okay, Das Kaka. So here's our panel expert. So anyone has any question about Dhoon or anything? Yes.
So first of all, a disclaimer, we are not experts, right? I think I speak on behalf of everyone. But the idea was the idea of the format of today's session was that the speakers of this on this topic, they would first present, and then they would sit down, and then there would be question and answer. And we were hoping that we can try to basically start a good discussion on this. And we were hoping that as we attempt to answer the question and clarify our own understanding, Dinkar uncle would fill in and help us understand this better. So, Parikshit Bhai said we're experts. There's no experts here except for Dinkar uncle.
Sajanand Swami Maharaj Nije. So I have a question. Even though I have experienced many times where I have done dhun, even not being in Waukegan, even in my house, or sometimes I would even cheat with God, say, my 15-second dhun, please consider 15 minutes, and he has answered. But yet I feel I lack that faith and conviction that Guru talked about today. So what advice that you guys have for me so I have that true faith and conviction, even when things are not working my way? That I said, aaj baat kahin ke everything Guru is doing for good.
આ દિનકર અંકલે હમણાં જે વાત કરી ને તે મહિમા સાથે અને શ્રદ્ધા અને વિશ્વાસ સાથે એ ધૂન જો ચાલુ રાખવામાં આવે અને પ્રગટ એટલે હંમેશા ધૂન કરતા છે ને પ્રગટનું ધ્યાન કરવું. કારણ કે જે પ્રગટ એટલે હમણાં દિનકરભાઈ છે, ધૂન સ્વામિનારાયણ મહામંત્રની કાઢે પણ ધ્યાન દિનકરભાઈનું કરવું. એનાથી શું થાય છે કે પ્રગટને ડાયરેક્ટ સંબંધ ભગવાન જોડે હોય છે, એટલે આપણું કનેક્શન સીધું ભગવાન જોડે થઈ જાય છે. એટલે હંમેશા ધૂન છે ને શ્રદ્ધા, વિશ્વાસ, મહિમા અને પ્રગટના ધ્યાન સાથે કરવું તો એ હંમેશા ફળશે. તો યુ કેન ટ્રાય ધીસ. અને દિનકરભાઈ જો આમાં કંઈ એડ કરતા હોય તો. હા ને કોણ છે? ઓ દાસ કાકા. હા હા.
સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. નારદજીએ ધ્રુવને મંત્ર આપ્યો કે ઓમ નમો ભગવતે વાસુદેવાય. એને પૂરા વિશ્વાસથી, પૂરી શ્રદ્ધાથી એ જપ યજ્ઞ કર્યો તો એને ભગવાનના દર્શન થયા. આપણે બી પૂરી શ્રદ્ધાથી જ્યારે ભગવાનના જાપ કરશું એમાં પછી આમ જોતા હોય, સર્વાંગી લેસન કર્યું, આ બધું એવું ચાલતું હોય તો ઘણી વખત એમાં એવું થાય. પણ પૂરી શ્રદ્ધાથી કોઈ પણ જાતના અવિશ્વાસ સિવાય જો એક કાર્ય કરવામાં આવે તો ભગવાન ભળે ને ભળે જ.
Vibhan, question is very similar to a prasang Guruji has said in his cassette. Gurujiએ કાકાજીને હંમેશા મોટા પુરુષમાં વિશ્વાસ નથી રહેતો કે કાકાજી કહે છે કે એવું. એટલે સ્વામીજીને હરિધામમાં સ્વામીજી કંઈક નીકળતા હતા અને ગુરુજી વોઝ સ્ટેન્ડિંગ એન્ડ હી ટુ આસ્ક સ્વામીજી કે મોટા પુરુષ કહે છે કે વિશ્વાસ રાખો, પણ વિશ્વાસ રહેતો નથી. તો સ્વામીજી કીધું કે વિશ્વાસ રાખો એન્ડ ધેન હી લેફ્ટ. સો નાવ he was also giving an example of Jyoti Ben, how she always kept Vishwas in Kakaji and whatever. And what I see it is that you know it, we know it, we have experienced it, and it's only now we are just a little bit impatient that we want that thing to happen in the way we want. And Guru always says open prayer, and so we tend to lose that Vishwas. That's the thing, the being patient and knowing that he is in charge. He's never going to do anything bad or something which is not in interest of me, and he is always there with me. He is with me physically, he's with me in my heart, in my memories, in my actions. And as we do that thing, it will become so strong, like that આઈ થિંક જેમ દાસ કાકાએ કીધું ને કે થશે 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 જે એન્ડ દેટ then nobody can shake it out. Nobody can, and you yourself will be able to convince everyone also on that thing કે ભાઈ God is listening. સ્વામી પોતે કહે છે કે મહારાજની ધૂન કરીએ સ્વામિનારાયણ સ્વામિનારાયણ ત્યારે મહારાજ આવીને સામે ઊભા રહે છે કે આ ભક્તો મને યાદ કરે છે. And Swami is saying it, and so yes, only thing is that we have to accept what Guru is planning for us in total divinity. ગુરુ આપ બળ આપો અમને બધાને વધારે કે આવું અમને ના ધ્યાન ના થાય.
Is that really answering your question, or because you asked that if conviction and faith, but is it conviction and faith that my prayers are not being heard, or they're not going to be heard, or is that was the question, or?
ઘણા બધા છે ને મને ખબર છે કે મારું કામ થાય છે
Sure.
પણ ઓકે સો ગીવ યુ એન એક્ઝામ્પલ ધીસ મોર્નિંગ આજે મેં છે ને રજા નથી લીધી આઈ વોઝ વર્કિંગ
Okay.
તો પહેલાં મને બીક લાગ્યા કરે કે હું લેપટોપ બી લઈને આવી નોર્મલી આઈ નેવર બ્રિંગ લેપટોપ વિથ મી પણ ચિંતા રહ્યા કરતી હતી કે કદાચ મને કોઈ કોલ આવી જશે કામ થશે થશે એવું બધું પછી મને એમ આપણા ધૂન ને બધું સવારમાં કર્યું તો વિચારે ખંખેરી કાઢ્યો કે ભાઈ હું અહીં સારા કામમાં આવી છું એમ તો હું ઘરે રહીને કેટલી વાર જોબ પર નથી જતી તો મેં અહીં તો હું તો શિબિરમાં આવી છું સો વાય એમ આઈ વરીડ પણ આઈ ગેસ કે ફૂલ ફેઇથ ને કન્વિક્શન નહોતું મૂક્યું ને એટલે થોડો પ્રોબ્લેમ હર્ડલ આવ્યો 4 વાગે પણ પછી હું રૂમમાં બી ગઈ સોલ્વ કરવા પણ મારું લેપટોપ જ ફ્લેર અપ ના થયું એટલે પછી એક મેં એનજીબેનને બી પૂછ્યું કે હવે હું શું કરું આવું થયું છે તો શી ઇઝ લાઈક યુ બેટર કોલ હેલ્પ ડેસ્ક એન્ડ ગેટ અ ફૂલ લાઈક પ્રૂફ કે યુ હેવ પણ પછીથી સમહાવ મને એમ થયું કે એક આ શું કરું હવે એટલે પહેલાં એમ થયું કે હું એમીને ટેક્સ્ટ કરું પછી એમ થયું કે એ સ્ટડી કરે છે એને શું કાંઈ ડિસ્ટર્બ કરું બિકોઝ એનજીબેન હેઝ ઓલરેડી ગિવન મી ધી આન્સર પણ પછી હેલ્પ ડેસ્કનો બી નંબર ના નીકળ્યો એટલે પછી મેં જે પેલા વ્યક્તિએ જેણે મને 4 o'clock ડિસ્ટર્બ કર્યું તો ફોન કરીને એને જ મેં કહ્યું કે કામ કર તું લઈ લે અને તું કર તો કે ઓકે એટલે કામ પતી ગયું ને એટલે મને એકવાર વિચાર આવ્યો ઉપર ગયા પછી કે સાલું અહીંયા આગળ દિનકર અંકલ કથા વાર્તા ધૂન શરૂ થઈ ગઈ એટલે ભજન મેં કહું મારું મિસ થશે પણ લકીલી હું આવી ગઈ પાછી પણ ઓરિજિનલી એ ફેથ નહોતો કે મેં સવારમાં ભગવાનને યાદ કરીને પ્રાર્થના કરીશ અને ધૂન કરીશ આપણે તો આઈ ડોન્ટ નીડ ટુ વરી આઈ વરીડ એન્ડ બિકોઝ આઈ વરીડ દેટ હેપન્ડ એટલે ઉપર ગયા પછી મને એમ થયું કે એ વિચાર કર્યો ને બીકનો એટલે બીક આવ્યું પણ ધૂન કરે છે તો બીક તો રહે છે મનમાંથી નીકળતી નથી બિકોઝ એ ફર્મ ફેથ કે કન્વિક્શન નથી કે હવે એટલે કાકાજી કહે ને કે નંદાજીએ કહ્યું હતું ને કે મારા બાપાએ કહ્યું છે તો પકડીને પાછા લાવે કે ભાઈ તમે થવાના જ છો યુ નો પણ હું પ્રાર્થના કરું છું પણ સમટાઈમ્સ આઈ ડોન્ટ હેવ ધ ટ્રુ ફેથ કે હવે મેં પ્રાર્થના એટલે પેલું કેમ કે છત્રી ભજન કર્યું છે છત્રી વરસાદ પડશે સમટાઈમ્સ આઈ ડુ એન્ડ સમટાઈમ્સ આઈ ફોરગેટ યુ સી
I think we can request Dingar uncle to answer.
तो बोल के दिया तो. You asked her a question and she gave you a very detailed answer. એમનો પોતાનો અનુભવ કયો એમણે. So now ધૂન કરીને તું બી થોડોક વાત કર.
The question touches this particular morning experience. It touches a lot of things. First of all, I mean, Vibhanti, you don't mean to tell you or preach to you or anything about that, but I think I share something similar with you as well. And I'll come to that example that I had with Dingar uncle as well. But at times is an inconsistency within our own thinking, If you really thought that this Shibir was important, right, and that for that, like, you are okay to miss work, then that thought should have been consistent, Then whatever comes, whatever you may lose business or gain business, but you have made that decision, When you made that decision, was not based on the thought that, hey, I want to get the Shibir also done and also my business to be successful. I think that's where the inconsistency arises, We try to reach out to two things, Bhagwan pan જોઈએ છે અને જગત પણ સાથે જ જોઈએ છે, And, Swami, what I understand from Swami's talks is कि दोनों बात न बन पाए, So first of all, within ourselves, we have to have the consistency that, okay, this Shibir is important for me, so I'm going to do this, Now, from a ethical perspective or anything like that, probably would have been a good idea to just take off today, Then you wouldn't have this conflict, But we still try to, take some of that and this, We trying to, put our feet on both the sides, and that itself causes that disturbance or, or that instability, But there are also prasangs sometimes that happen is that which are out of our control. So this is something that we could have put in your own control, where, if you knew the Shibir is coming up and if was possible for you to take off, you should have done that, and all that. And if you did decide to not take off and then still come and risk it, then be aware of all the risks that come with it. And then if you prepare yourself with that thought, Bibanti, you are such a person, I think that, you would be okay. But because we were not prepared going into this day, that's why when a disturbance occurs, it kind of, makes us, a little bit unshaken up, When Kakaji went for Nandaji's elections and everything, right? He was prepared for the worst. He was proactive, he was prepared for the worst, and when things came upon him, he always saw them as in a different light, because he was prepared going into it. The same way, preparing yourself that, this is more important for me, and I'm prepared for worst come. So that's one way to do with this. Second thing, if you cannot able to decide what's good for you, then you could always check with the Bhagwadi or check with Ingar uncle. Okay, I have this Shibir coming up, and I have this work, and I cannot get away from work, but I really want to come to the Shibir. How should I handle this, And at that time, you put your faith in who you're asking, and then you go with that. That will itself also, not shaken you up in the sense, oh, मैं पूछूं छे, so it would be fine, But then sometimes there are circumstances where you can't help it, and it happens, I was now coming back to my own personal experience. Dingar uncle normally stays over at on Wednesday nights at Mandir, and in the morning there is normally I deal with a lot of overseas teams, so I have meetings with them in the morning, and in the morning I also would like to do Dingar uncle seva, prepare food and everything for him in the morning. And it was very interesting because Dingar uncle brought this out, that how do you balance that, because I don't know how he sensed it or not, but it used to be a struggle, that beta tu avu karto hoy tana karvanu che, that is more important for you, the seva part, for instance, right? And the job thing is you can't really avoid it, and let's say it comes up, but how do you handle it? So I said, first of all, if I try to not schedule meetings, during that time. And then if let's say something I cannot avoid, then I'll try to prepare maybe like Surat Bhai or one of the other Sadak Bhaios to come and, do the seva that way, And Dingal says, let's say still, Aivu, whatche, to su karis tu. So then I didn't really have an answer. And then Dingar uncle told me that expect issues, expect problems to come. If you are proactive, I told him, because if something like that comes, then becomes a little of I try to listen, I try to do the thing, and it's a little bit of a stressful situation for me, because I try to answer if my input is required, I have to talk on the call, as well as that his time is of essence, because Dingar uncle, I like to do with Dingar uncle's schedule, so I try to do things at his time as well. So time and that all of that becomes a conflict. And so Dingar uncle, the advice he gave me, that expect problems. If you really want to do this, be proactive in expecting problems, And then if you're proactive, भगवान प्रार्थना कर कि disturbance केम नहीं आई हुआ आज, And the way we want to test ourselves, કે disturbance આવ્યા પછી પણ આપણે we're keeping our calm, or we're keeping, we're keeping our equanimity, So I think in maybe a short answer to your question was to be, first of all, be consistent with what you want, and second of all, be proactive in expecting problems and issues, So if you thought that this is going to be, we're going to be here and something may come up, make sure your computer is booted up, make sure it works, all of those things, if you wanted to keep both of them, right, if you want to keep Shibir and business together, you could have taken some proactive steps towards the set as well. But maybe that's a short answer I have.
બેઠા રહો બધા પ્લીઝ. યુઝ્યુઅલી જે પિન્ટુભાઈ જે વાત કરીને, આઈ ટોટલી એગ્રી વિથ હિમ. વાય? બિકોઝ સેમ થિંગ વોટ યુ સેડ, સેમ થિંગ, સેમ સિનેરિયો આઈ હેવ ટુ. મારો સિનેરિયો શું હતો કે યસ્ટરડે આઈ વોઝ થિંકિંગ, યુઝ્યુઅલી મારે શું થાય છે કે વેનેવર મારે કે આવો પ્રોગ્રામ આવે, કંઈક જવાનું હોય ને, ત્યારે જ ઓલ ઓફ અ સડન મને બધા એ ટૂરની ને બધી ઇન્ક્વાયરીઓ આવે અને લાસ્ટ મિનિટ બધે જવાનું આવે. એટલે લાસ્ટ મિનિટ કોઈને ટ્રાવેલ કરવાનું હોય તો, એન્ડ વેન આઈ એમ હેન્ડલિંગ માય કેસ, બીજા કરતા આઈ નો દેટ કે આ પેસેન્જરનું હું વધારે સારી રીતે કેર કરી શકીશ, આઈ વિલ મેક શ્યોર કે આ હું ડીલ બી કરીશ એમ. હવે આ બધું બન્યું યસ્ટરડે સવારના, અને સાંજના તો મારે નીકળવાનું હતું. એટલે સેમ વે પછી આઈ હેવ ડિસાઇડેડ કે વોટ ડુ આઈ ડુ, મારે જવું તો છે જ, કારણ કે મનમાં નક્કી કરેલું હતું કે આઈ વોન્ટ ટુ લીવ. હવે બીજું વોટ ઇઝ મારી પાસે સોલ્યુશન. એટલે મેં સ્ટાર્ટેડ ફ્રોમ ધી મોર્નિંગ, એવી રીતે પ્રોગ્રામ જ કરાય કે આઈ ટ્રેન તેજલબેન છે મારી સાથે, કિન્નરી છે અને બીજા બેન છે, એ લોકોને મેં ધીમે ધીમે આખો દિવસ એ જ કર્યું, એ લોકોને તૈયાર કર્યા. અને બીજું કે વાય આઈ ડીડ ધેટ વન, કે જેથી મને અહીંયા આગળ ડિસ્ટર્બ ન થાય અને મને ફોનો ન આવે. પણ બન્યું એવું કે મેં પ્લાન બધો કર્યો, આઈ જેવી રીતે કીધું ને પિન્ટુભાઈ સેડ સો કરેક્ટલી કે યુ વોન્ટ ટુ બી પ્રોએક્ટિવ. સો આઈ પ્લાન ઇટ એક્ઝેક્ટલી દે વે. પણ હું અહીંયા જ્યારે બેઠો, યુ વોન્ટ બિલીવ કે તમારું જ જ્યારે આવ્યું ને, અને ત્યારે જ મને ફોન આવ્યો એક્ઝેક્ટલી, એન્ડ આઈ હેવ ટુ લેફ્ટ, કારણ કે એ બી એક ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ હતું મારે કરવાનું. એટલે આઈ ડીડ, મારે જે કરવાનું હતું ને બધું પતી ગયું. એન્ડ સેકન્ડ કોલ વોટ આઈ ડીડ, કે જેવો બ્રેક પડ્યો 15 મિનિટ, ત્યારે અમે જ્યાં વોક કરતા ત્યાં બહાર જઈને આઈ ફિનિશ માય જે હાફ વર્ક હતું એ પૂરું કરી નાખ્યું એમ. પણ આઈડિયા શું હતું કે મેં મનમાં નક્કી કરેલું હતું ને, મનમાં આઈ હેડ કેપ વન પોઝિટિવ થોટ ઇન માય માઇન્ડ કે ઇવન ધો જો મને આ ફોન કોલ આવે મિડલ ઓફ સીઝન, આઈ વિલ ટેક ઇટ, આઈ વિલ ગેટ અપ એન્ડ આઈ વિલ ટેક ધ ફોન કોલ. પણ મેં મનમાં એવું પોઝિટિવ વિચાર્યું હતું કે એટલીસ્ટ મને અહીંયા આગળ ફ્રાઈડે આ સભામાં આવવા તો મળે છે ને. સી આઈ ટુક ઇટ પોઝિટિવ કે મારે ગમે થાય, ભલે મારે 10 મિનિટ કદાચ બહાર જવું પડશે, આઈ વિલ કેચ ઇટ. ગમે ત્યારે મેં તમારું હતું તો જાણી લીધું કે બિગિનિંગમાં શું વાત કરી હતી, જે મિસ થયું હતું આઈ કાઢ ઇટ યુ નો. પણ મેં મનમાં એવું પોઝિટિવ વિચાર્યું હતું કે ચાલો ને મને અહીંયા આવવા તો મળે છે ને, કારણ કે દેર આર મેની લાઈક અમારા તેજલબેન હતા, એને બી આવવાની ઈચ્છા હતી, પણ સી બધા એક સાથે નીકળી બી ના શકે. એટલે મને થયું કે એટલીસ્ટ મને તો ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી છે અહીંયા જવાની, એમાં મારો જો થોડો ટાઈમ બગડશે તો આવી કેચ ઇટ અપ, પણ એટલીસ્ટ બેઝિકલી બધાની સાથે એક દિવસ સાથે રહેવાશે, મળાશે, બધાને વાત થશે, and I'll enjoy it. So instead of dwelling કે આ સાલું મારાથી ન થયું, એના કરતાં આપને શું મળ્યું એનો જો વિચાર કરીએ કે ઓહો હો વોટ ડુ આઈ ગેઇન. આજે આવી તો મને દિનકરદાના દર્શન થયા, દિનકરદાની વાતો સાંભળવા મળી, આટલા બધા હરિભક્તોનું નવું નવું જાણવા મળ્યું. એટલીસ્ટ આઈ એમ ફોર્ચ્યુનેટ કે આટલું મળ્યું. એમાંથી થોડુંક જતું રહ્યું તો ફરક એ આપણે ગમે ત્યાંથી કેચઅપ કરી લઈએ. પણ ઇફ યુ કીપ થિંકિંગ યોર સેલ્ફ પોઝિટિવલી, તો આપને શું છે કે એવા આવા વિચારો ના આવે ને આપને સેડનેસમાં ન લઈ જાય. ખાલી એટલું જ માનો કે ઓહો આટલા બધા હરિભક્તો ઘણા હતા આપણે, જો આજે બધા છે, ઘણા આજે ઇવનિંગમાં આવશે, ઘણા કાલે આવશે. એવું નથી કે દે ડોન્ટ વોન્ટ ટુ કમ, દે વોન્ટ ટુ કમ, પણ સર્કમસ્ટન્સીસ એવા છે જોબના કે દે હેવ ટુ સ્ટે. એટલે ઇટ્સ નોટ નેસેસરી કે, પણ આપણે એટલા ફોર્ચ્યુનેટ છે કે એટલીસ્ટ આપને એવી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી મળી કે આજે આપણે જોબ પરથી લીવ કરીને બી અહીંયા આવી શકીએ છીએ. એટલે વી હેવ ટુ થેન્ક ગોડ થેન્ક ગોડ કે આજે મને આવો સરસ લાભ મળ્યો અહીંયા આગળ. એમાંથી થોડુંક જો ગયું તો આઈ વિલ કેચ ઇટ અપ, પણ 100%માંથી 90% મળ્યું જો એનો આપણે આનંદ રાખીએ તો ઇટ વર્ક્સ આઉટ મચ. દેટ્સ વોટ આઈ ફીલ એન્ડ દેટ ઇઝ વોટ આઈ એમ ફિલિંગ રાઇટ નાઉ, કે મારે થોડુંક આવ્યું પણ માય વિથ ગોડ ગ્રેસ કે એવી આપણી ભાવના હતી કે આજે મારે અહીંયા જવું છે. આપણે એવું નહોતું કે કોઈ મૂવી જોવા જવાની કે ઓલી હતી વર્લ્ડલી થિંગ. વી વોન્ટ ટુ કમ ટુ સત્સંગ, વી લવ સત્સંગ, વી લવ ઓલ હરિભક્તોસ એન્ડ વી લવ ટુ મીટ એવરીબડી. સો અવર ઓલ પોઈન્ટ્સ આર ટુવર્ડ પોઝિટિવ. તો ગોડ વિલ વર્ક ફોર અસ. તો પછી મારું કામ બી મને જેટલું જો હું ત્યારીને કર્યું હોત ઓફિસમાં એના કરતાં અહીંયા મચ ફાસ્ટર થઈ ગયું. અહીંયા આઈ કુડ ફિનિશ ઇટ અપ ઇન 10 મિનિટ્સ એન્ડ દેટ પેસેન્જર એગ્રી એવરીથિંગ ડન, અને માય વર્ક ઇઝ ડન, ને બધી ટિકિટ ને બધું ઇસ્યુ થઈ ગયું સેમ ડે. એટલે ઇટ વર્ક પોઝ. એટલે શું છે કે કીપ પોઝિટિવ થિંકિંગ, કે આપણે જો પોઝિટિવ આપણે જે વાત કરે છે ને, જો આપણો પોઝિટિવ થોટ્સ આપણા માઇન્ડમાં રહેશે ને, દેન નેગેટિવ ભાવ છે ને એ ઓટોમેટિક જતા રહેશે. દેટ્સ વોટ માય પર્સન. સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. સોરી પેનલ.
Vivaben Jai Sumanarayan. With Vivaben's incident, I thought I'll share my incident too. I was in the same evening 3 to 5 when I started driving from Chicago. So we have an offshore team, and I work for a company, and we have partners who do development for us. So we just see to it that quality is good, architecture is good, and design is good, and then we do a. So in everyday meeting, they tell us that what they have designed, and evening 4 to 5, they just show it, this is what we have designed. If you say, okay, we'll implement it tomorrow. So every day 4:30 to 5, they keep a meeting. So yesterday I was in office, but we had another issue, so I could not go to this meeting. So there was a pile up of those things to be discussed. And today again, we had some issues, and I was on road since morning, first for Vatsal's hospital visit, and then I was coming here. So I said, okay, let's take the call. So I just went through some of the document and started driving. And there was 15 minutes lag. So as soon as I took the highway, I just put a conference call, and on Bluetooth, I started attending. Usually what happens is, since I review their design, I make the comments, make them change. So they're a little bit hostile by nature when every day we look at the mistakes and ask them to do correction. So they're a little bit hostile, and we are professional, but professionally hostile. So I started attending this call, and when I say yes, that means whatever right and wrong they do, I have approved it, and that's my ownership now. So I become very critical, because once I say yes, it's in my bucket. So today we started going through the meeting, and I was driving. So I said, you know what, I have gone through the document, but once you start your document, why don't you read first paragraph and let me know which issue is it, so that I can correlate it. At the same time, this is a new car, so I put a GPS, and in GPS, that lady started talking, make a left turn. So this guy said, oh, looks like you're traveling. I said, don't worry, I'm on Bluetooth and hands-free, we are safe, so you can continue. That thing changed something in that room, and all the people who were usually every day they are hostile, they started cooperating. And they thought that, like, I don't know what they thought. They thought that I'm driving, and it's like, not good to put much into discussion. So they started elaborating more, that why do they think that what changes they are going to make is good change. And there were 5 issues, and 3 of them, they themselves came, you know what, I think I can do it something differently in this, so why don't I make a note for myself? and on Monday we can read it. It doesn't happen usually. So for these 5 issues, usually I take 5 days to approve it. And today, the call didn't work out for 10 minutes. It was 30-minute call. Last 20 minutes, we reviewed 5 issues and approved it also. But I didn't plan it. I thought, let's see how it takes. Like, Kakaji and Bapu say that, live life dangerously. So I took a risk of calling them. I should have told, that today we cannot make this call. Why don't we do it on Monday? But then sometime it comes to my mind that, there is only one subject in engineering which I failed, which was EDC, Electronic Design and Circuit. And then I introspected. I never failed. I was always a first grade student, and why did I fail in this subject? So after 5-6 months of introspection, I realized that the teacher who was teaching that was kind of passive teacher. I don't like to criticize teachers, but he was not very active teacher. He was a passive teacher. He'll come and read the paragraph and then go. And I was doing engineering out of my passion. Every subject, every project, everything I did was like as if I'm going to change this world kind of thing. Even if I did engineering with a donation and everything. So I was doing as if I'm in IIT kind of thing. So then I realized the teacher was passive and I gave up. So then I read somewhere that if you think there's a problem, then I come from a Jat background, so we are farmers and we go in military and all that comes in DNA also. So when problems comes, give a head on. Let it be, stand up tall. So, let the problem come, let's see. So I think there's some Hollywood song that don't worry, be happy, what will happen? Either you will get what you want and either you will not get what you want. If you get what you want, it's good. If you don't get what's big deal? There are 5-6 lines in that song. So, and that connects me to, once I was in engineering or somewhere and I went for a vacation to my village and my Dadaji was sitting and everyone was then I was worried, I have this subject to cover and I have to go back and if I do this engineering, I'll give this subject and I'll get this job and I'll do this and that. Everything was planned. Then Dadaji was listening and he said, you know what? You are making God unemployed. You are making God unemployed. You are taking his job away. That is his job. Let him decide what will happen. So don't make him unemployed. Let him do his job. Let us do our job. So that connects me that, things really doesn't change with our prayer. I don't believe that things change with our prayer. I think, if things change with our prayer, this whole universe will not work the way it should supposed to be working. Because we all want cake our way. We all want things our way. In my opinion, how I analyzed it, things happen the way it is supposed to happen. Sometimes it happens to our liking, so we define it that way that, God listened to us. Sometimes it doesn't happen to our liking. So we kind of sometimes say, jo hua, acha hua. And sometimes we as a child, we kind of as we argue with our parents or mother, we say, why did God do that? But in my view, all these 3 opinions are okay. We are extremely lucky enough to be here. People don't get to stay here even if they are in Varanasi. They don't get this kind of satsang even if they are in Varanasi or they are in Kashi or they are in sometimes they live in the ashrams. They don't get this satsang. So I consider that we have something, someone, either our grandparents, our parents, our last life's deed, something is there, which defines us differently than rest of the people in US or the whole world. So we get the company. We get the good company of each other and we get good company of satsangis. We have coming from India and Hindu Dharma, we have a long lineage, that's definitely be there. But there are 100 crore people who have the same lineage. And we are only 150 here. So that way, I think we overanalyze it and we all do it. So sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't like it. But we all have experienced that, things happen and we call it miracle. And divinity works. To contradicting with whatever I have said, my grandfather used to say another small thing, that, done deal. God has decided that everything will happen the way it should happen. Now comes the picture of bigger faith, even living more dangerously. That if we have a full conviction, In dancing, we call it leap of faith. If child is on the first floor and his mother said, jump, I'll catch you, child still jumps. And today, if we are on first floor and our mother stands down and says, jump, I'll catch you, we'll say, no, you're fool, you'll kill me. So in Hinduism, there is something called that everything said and done, that God has a plan and plan is going to work the way. There is something through which a plan can be changed. And that is called that divinity works to some Satpurus or your convictions or true heart's prayer, and things change. But that part, I think, I have just read and I got that paragraph that if you are in satsang, why you are not Brahmrup, and I was reading that paragraph. There are 3 steps, you should have first word was you should have connection. Second was you should trust. Third point was I'm not yet done with that paragraph. So the 3 things. But then I was kind of read it, and I was trying to process it, too complicated, that I said, that parent and child, mother and child's example came. So kids, Nishkapat. Yeah, so as a child, we were like that. But as we grew and our intellect, we learned the intellectual from worldly things, we started processing it. And in all good faith, because that's how the intellectual and logics come. But then I think we didn't graduate enough to this field that we process it the right way, because this field of God and divinity and religious things are processed differently than worldly thing. If you are in office, you might have made the perfectly right decision. But the same logic, if you put it in satsang, you have to make a reverse decision. And that's where things doesn't add up sometimes. So maybe I always struggle with that and try to process and see how that adds up. But if you have that leap of faith example, I always take that leap of faith. If I cannot make a right decision, I just say, you know what, this is what I want to do it. Let's move on. Jo hoga so dekha jayega. So that's same experience which you had, I wanted to share my experience. Thank you. Jai Samnarayan.
Anything to add, Dinkar?
Well, let's first find out whether how much she got her answers,
How are you feeling, man?
Sajanand Swami Maharaj Nije, I'm going to be honest, because Parikshit Bhai came to me and said, Vivavanti, have a question for the panel. So, today Dinkar Uncle talked about the firm faith with honesty and sincerity and conviction, which I do want. That part I didn't make up. That I do want. But then the word that I used, that you have advice for me. So everybody just focused on one example that I gave. I have given 2 or 3 examples. But everybody, my job, because I always think that I work for Dinkar Dada, I'm not worried about my job. Because even I felt that I cheated him by not taking a vacation day, but then still. But I was just trying to give an example that just because I had doubt, that's why it happened. If I had not doubted, nothing was going to happen. So everybody, I felt that, pela uncle છે જે વચ્ચે પપ્પાની બાજુમાં બેઠા એમણે મને જે આન્સર આપ્યો મને બહુ ગમ્યો કે the ગુરુને પ્રત્યક્ષ સ્વરૂપને યાદ કરીને so then I'm connected. Everybody else gave great answers and they shared their experiences, and I love it because it's a similar experiences. But I'm hoping for more. And I hope that Dinkar Dada, you get my question, because મારે એવું કેવું હતું કાકાજીને ઘણું બધું ફર્મ કન્વિક્શન હતું કે મારા બાપાએ સ્વામી આપ્યા છે, એમ કે મેં ગુણાતીતાનંદ સ્વામીને યાદ કરીને પ્રાર્થના કરી છે અને બાપાએ આશીર્વાદ આપ્યા છે, તો તમે બ્રહ્મરૂપ પેલા નંદાજીને કે તમે થવાના જો, પેલા જતા રહેતા તો ઉચકી પાછા લાવતા હતા કે બેસો અહીંયા આગળ, તમે યુ હેવ ટુ બી હિયર. હી હેડ ધેટ ફેથ. મારી પાસે બી પ્રત્યક્ષ ભગવાન છે અને મારી પાસે બી બધી ટેકનિક્સ છે, પણ there are places that works, but there are places I doubt. Or okay, મને બીજો એક એક્ઝામ્પલ વિચાર હમણાં આવ્યો હતો કે ભાઈ હું લેટ્સ સે કે હું મારા સર્વાંગીની કે સહજની કે વિષ્ણાની કે મારી કે મારા પેરેન્ટ ગમે તેની કોઈકને એકવાર પ્રાર્થના મેં મૂકી દીધી કે દિનકર અંકલ આ રીતે, then I shouldn't be worried about it daily and pray for them daily, right? But I do. Obviously, because I have felt કે ગઈકાલે નથી પ્રાર્થના મૂકી હતી પૂરી નહીં થઈ હોય, I don't know. So there is a doubtful mind. So Ajit Dinkar uncle je kahan, conviction, faith, honesty, sincerity. I feel I lack that, and that's what I want. The other stuff was just examples, you know. I don't know. I mean, do you? But my guidance માંગ્યું એટલે બધા આપ્યું મને guidance, share their experience, and I truly, truly, from bottom of my heart, appreciate everybody's experience. I did learn something from everyone. Don't take me wrong, because, but I feel that I have a doubtful mind.
મારે તમને એક કાઉન્ટર ક્વેશ્ચન પૂછવો છે કે તમે દિનકરભાઈને એમ પૂછ્યું હતું કે મને રજા નથી મળીને હું શિબિરમાં આવું છું તો મારે શું કરવું એવું પૂછ્યું હતું નહીં?
સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની છે. Actually, I work on sale, like, so we do outside sales, so usually we're always out and about, so there are times I can work from home and all that. So, but there are times I also go on a weekend and work and stuff. And I, right now, as actually when everybody said that be ready for consequences, so then I prayed that I will promise I'll make it up, because I know that there are times I might have to go and work on a weekend, but even then I'll work extra and make it up. I did pray. So, because there are times I cheat. And I actually, અહીંયા સત્સંગમાં એને guilty feeling છે એવું નહોતું. ઘરે બી રહીને હું કેટલા, like there are times I don't even go to work for days. But the thing is, the doubt કર્યો ને, that's the question I had. Because I thought about it, that's why it happened. If I had not thought about it, like ઘરે બિંદાસ રહું છું એવી અહીંયા બિંદાસ રહી હોત તો મને ના પ્રોબ્લેમ આવત ખ્યાલ. અરે એવું કંઈ એવો મેજર પ્રોબ્લેમ નહોતો, ઇટ વોઝ ટેકન કેર ઓફ. પણ એક સેકન્ડ માટે મારી પીસ કરતી રહી ને અને મારું ઉપર જવું પડ્યું. But a doubtful mind, that's what I'm focusing on.
I think there were very nice descriptions and explanations. And for every incident, there is always a justification, and there is always doubtfulness also, because we have intellectual mind, you know. So our mind is always going to go to both levels, you know, the head trip and the heart trip. When we have the heart trip, we would be satisfied. But then our head trip will say, but I still did not get that much, you know. I still did not achieve at the best or at the most, you know. So as long as we have mind, we are going to have this kind of things, you know. We are going to have the logics and also the convictions. The thing is that when we come to this satsang here, do we really consider this as very, very valuable or not? And if we consider that is very, very valuable, you know, then we make arrangements for that also, you know. It was nice that you gave your example, you know, which is very guiding to everybody also, you know. And Pintu Bhai said also, and Tulsi Ram also said. But what happens is that whatever type of thinking we generate, those vibrations go and create its ripples and its effects, you know. And if we have a firm conviction within ourselves, then we would have those kind of vibrations. So going back to your scenario, let's say, you know, when you were talking and discussing, I went even a little further back, you know, that Sahaj had come back to me, you know, and he was with tears in his eyes, you know. And he had told me that I want to come to this Shibir, but my mom says no. And I knew her, She is emotional, and she just does that, but with no inner intention, But that little boy, he just thought it was serious, he will not come. So I told him, I said, you do Dhun, I will do Dhun for you, and I will talk to your mom, and everything will be fine. So he was okay. He changed, And the next day, we talked to, Vibha Ben, and she says, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, I should not have said that, And things change, so it worked out, it happened that way, But that ripple had maybe some effect on your doing again today, in your situation today, So, we want to keep the things in a very divine way, very positive way, Sometimes we joke with people also, And then we say, yeah, it was just a joke. No. That has a ripple effect also. But we like joking, so what can we do? So then we pay the price, right? But if we are really elevated from these things, to the higher level, then everything takes care, There is no 0.111, 0.0001 mistake also, That is how perfect this divinity is, So one way to look is, that, okay, this happened, so let me introspect, and learn from that, so it does not happen next time, The second thing is that if we think that this satsang is so powerful and this Shibir is so much, important to me, then like Tulsi Ram has said, that we should plan it, We should plan ahead of the time, and give the priority of this Shibir also. So let's analyze one more step, that you do get vacation, right? Maybe so many weeks or whatever, right? And you use them, You use those days for whatever reasons and purpose, right? But somehow you thought that you can maneuver this day so that you don't have to use that as a vacation day. That was the only, interpretation maybe, or your thinking maybe, And I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking, that, you wanted to, save that day for something else, So this maybe you can, maneuver and manage. Just like you said that you have done that before also, and it has maybe worked. So, it would work here also, But when you do that you have come here, and what we are saying, that this satsang is very powerful, and we talked about, karod kaam bagadine પણ એક મોક્ષ સુધારવો. We want to waste, we want to ruin 10 million tasks at the cost of liberating ourselves, And we want to do it here. We are here for that liberation, right? So, if we think that this is that much important, that much powerful, then we don't want to, bring the priority of our vacation for something else, right? We could have said that, okay, something else I'll work out, but this satsang, I want to have clear cut thing, then there is no hanky-panky or there is no other, disturbance, right? And if we do that, then it would give us less disturbance. I'm not saying that disturbance will not come, Disturbance may come, But we are clear with our, conscious, that I have tried to do as much as I can. It was good that Pankaj Uncle gave a very nice scenario that he has observation, that whenever he comes to this type of things, other lucrative thing comes for comparison, eh. Now you have to decide, which one is more priority for you, And we have back in our mind, the need and priority for the, our job and other things also, it's needed, it's there, Well, let me put another way. We think that it is needed, Okay. Look at Harsha-ben, she is bindas, right? But okay, we have developed that kind of pattern, so it's fine, that we think that it is needed, But we want to be proactive, That's what he did, That he trained his assistants and he trained to make sure that he does not get unnecessary calls, either from the assistants or from the other people. So that part he did it to his best, But what Kakaji says that there is another stage that it would also take care, And you don't have to even think that there will be a disturbance or there will be a phone call or things here, And for that we are here, We want to create that kind of confidence within us. We want to create that kind of control over this worldly activities this way, And Kakaji lived that whole life that way, He was very poor when, he was in high school, because his father, lost business and other things, Then he went to Africa by his cousins and others' advice. He went to London by his brother's, Papaji's, support. Then he came here, and by the blessings of Shastriji Maharaj, he stayed. And in a short period, he became multi-millionaire. Just like Malkani uncle. He became multi-millionaire in a very short time, And then Yogi Baba took it away also, saying that that's not important, There is something more important than that, And Kakaji is really shining today, Because whatever his masters told, he did it. He was married, right? But master arranged situation that his wife, Leela Ben, right? Lalita Ben, yeah. His wife did not bother him. She just stayed with her parents to take care of her parents. So it worked out for Kakaji and them both, The purpose of marriage of Kakaji was dowry. They needed money during these early days when they needed money. That's why they got married, Papaji and Kakaji both, But Kakaji was very well arranged, that the botheration and problems of wife were just gone, She was staying in Nadiyad, and Kakaji was doing all these activities in Bombay and other places, Even with that, at that time, there were attractions, There were still other opportunities, And another gentleman from, Europe, his daughter, that man wanted to, get Kakaji married. Even though Kakaji was married, he wanted to, have him married again, which is, out of the context, right? And, if you see a very beautiful girl, and if you see opportunities that her father is giving all this money and business and partnership, who would say no, right? But rule number one, he went to his master. He called Shastriji Maharaj, Yogi Ji Maharaj, from there. And not with the closed mind. That if he says yes, it's good, but if he says no, then I will argue and I will do this and that, no. He went with open mind, And Yogi Baba said, no thai, pacha avi jao, no thai, bas. We cannot do that, Now it may be related because he's married, and he should not do that. Or it is related that Yogi Baba has a better plan, that, don't get tangled into this. Or it may not be fit for Kakaji, whatever, but it came from Bappa. And Kakaji took it totally, seriously. And all those, words and letters that you have put down, that is the difference. That is where Kakaji is, and that is where we are not there yet. But we want to be there yet. We want to go there yet. We want to be there. We want to go there. But that seriousness and sincerity has to come from within. You said very nice word. You are not worried about job. And I know why. That you have experience that when you lose a job, you get a better paying job. So what is there in a good deal? Right? Huh? Already proven. So it's not a worry about your job. Right? But you are worrying about small details, day-to-day details, that why that phone call came. And, oh, Bapare, now what would happen, Or my computer is not working, And these are the things, But we talked about that king and his subordinate story, that whatever God is doing is for your good. When computer was not working, did you think that maybe it is meant that I should not bother this, Enjoy here rather than worry about this thing. That is what computer is telling, that hey, divinity says that you be here, I am not going to work. Computer says, I am not going to let you spend and waste your time, What if computer would have worked? You would have 10 more emails and you would have other things and you would be just tangled there, So divinity is guiding us on every moment, on every second, right? But we don't know how to look at it. We are looking with our tunnel vision, And it's not just you. It's me and everybody. Yeah. We all fall into that short fall, And we have to live and learn from there, And when we understand the whole picture, then it will be all just a nice game, It will be all meant to be fit for that right purpose, So, when you come here and you find these challenges, accept those challenges rather than get worried, Just like Pankaj Uncle was saying, that he does not want this kind of added work and added load, especially when the Shibir times and other things comes, Yes, he knows that it is not needed, I don't want that, But it does come, It is coming to prepare us. It is coming to elevate us from the level where we are going around, And is there a way? Yes. There is always the solution, right? And we have to find that solution, That we want to have the other way, That when a Shibir or other thing comes, everything is taken care very nicely, couple of days ahead of the time. So we are not disturbed at all, And that can be possible. That is possible. Number one solution to that is, so she knows, Dhun. But our Dhun is so common, now, that we don't have a value of it, Our Dhun is, becoming kind of natural thing, day-to-day thing, which is okay, But we want to invoke the power of that Dhun, Kakaji was doing that. Kakaji was, master of that, And by his grace, we got some of this, and we are enjoying, I had to come here also, right? And my style is that I don't write that memo to my boss until the last minute, That, I go for 3 months of vacation, and I wrote that memo the last day in the office. But this time I said, no, I have a new boss, and I want to make him not that much, confused and, whatever, He will not be confused for one day, what is there, So I said, okay, I want to send that memo one day earlier, So I went ahead and said that, okay, I'm taking this day off, But things do come, I had phone calls also, today, But that is part of our, balance of job life. But I don't take that in a negative tone, I take that as a positive and welcoming tone that, okay, when I have time, I take care of that phone call, If I don't have time, then it's my role. They will have to wait. Not their role that I have to be upset. We can develop that feeling, But that I don't want to abuse that thing also, I don't want to be, giving myself some, dadagiri or, other thing, I still want to be humble, I want to handle in a very nice manner, I want to say sorry if I made a mistake also, I don't want to justify, So if we live with that kind of atmosphere, I think things will change to a better level, And the taste of pudding is in eating, right? You can describe pudding so many ways, but unless you eat, then and then you can feel that it is a good pudding, right? So same way, the taste of this thing, is experiencing our peace of mind, our inner happiness. Incidents may come 100 times serious or not serious at all. But how do we take it? If we take 100 times serious incidents with the same ease, then we have transcended, we have elevated. But even incident comes, and we make it 100-fold worrisome, then we have room for work to do, for our growth factor, to improve, So things are going to happen, They are not going to stop. They are not going to shut down. But we want to invoke the divine power, We want to be like 5 Pandavas had Lord Krishna with him. Then they were not worried, We have heard that, that when when Bhishma Dada, decided that tomorrow either Arjun will die or I will die, So Duryodhan took it what way? Tomorrow Arjun will die. And Arjun himself took it what way? I have Krishna with me, I'm not going to die. Statement was one, interpretation was many, right? So if we interpret in a positive, God is with me, nothing wrong is going to happen, then the vibration we send out would be positive, And even like Tulsi Ram said, that kind of discussion took only 10 minutes, which would have taken 5 days, See? There is a way. It can happen, right? That will build a confidence in him, right? Next time, he would not be hesitant to talk on the, Bluetooth with GPS on, right? He would love to do that now, Maybe if he's in the office and the problem is complicated, he may go in the car, maybe. Because Bluetooth works. See? It's the whole scenario which can turn around, and make us very much confident, That kind of confidence we want to develop within ourselves. That kind of trust and faith factor we want to have with this Shibir and other things. And we all have this potentiality, Like Parikshit said, Kakaji had that faith that Yogi Baba has said Nandaji is going to win. So, forget about all the other things, Facts that Nandaji is weak. Facts is that Nandaji is also himself running away. These are all the facts. But go according to your inner conviction. That Yogi Baba has said, it has to happen. My interpretation of that slogan is even at a higher level, but I gave you the example of Nandaji, Kakaji's slogans are very powerful, So, is that enough, or you have anything to clarify or ask more? Huh?
Like કાકાજીને like બાપાએ કહ્યું કે આપણાથી ન થાય he was able to quickly get out of that. Same thing કે એ સિગરેટ પીતા હતા, ચેઇન સ્મોકર હતા, પણ ધ મિનિટ ખાલી બાપા એવું કંઈક ધમણીથી થાય છે, એ જે એ ફેથ છે એ what is how can I cultivate that? That's what I want. હું તો મારી રટમાં બેસી ગઈ હતી તો નીકળી જ નથી શકતી, એમી મને કેટલા ધબાડા માર્યા તારું નીકળી બહાર.
But nikraya, na?
Yeah.
That is more important.
But they're quick, like Kakaji.
Yeah. He had come with the plan. We are making the plans. That is the difference. Right? It was all planned out, he knew. But we are making the plans, so. But we will be there one day. Right? When we become Brahmrup, and when we go to Akshardham, and then Somnath Bhagavan says that Vibhaben, you go to so and so place, then you will be like Kakaji. You know everything. But first let's become Brahmrup, Right? Then we will have the full picture. And then we will fool the world. We will not be fooled. Yeah. Fortunately, my association in Kakaji's time, by the grace of God and by His grace, worked out so that every place I fit well and I did not fumble, I even think today that how that happened, is by His grace, Yeah. And that made Kakaji very happy, That was, again, His grace, I think, Yeah. But we all want to go to that level, And for that, we don't want to be, unsincere to ourselves, First, we want to be sincere to ourselves, That do we think that this is it, this is the real opportunity, this is the real, golden opportunity that we have, Our mind still doubts, Yeah, you are here and you would say yes. But when it comes in the field as a test, then we will fumble, That part we have to work at it. And when we have full confidence, that this is it, this is the ultimate goal, કરોડ કામ બગાડીને આ મોક્ષ સુધારવાનો છે, તમે તો એક કામ બગડે છે ને દુઃખી થઈ જાઓ છો ને ભાઈ, તમે એટલે હું બી, ઇટ્સ ઓલ રાઈટ. એક બાજુ સ્વામી કે કરોડ કામ બગાડીને આ મોક્ષ સુધારવાનો છે, રાઈટ. પણ આ મોક્ષ સુધરી ગયો તો કામ થઈ ગયું. If we achieve our goal, then we are done. It's done deal. One more thing, you learned all this Gujarati also, you caught very nicely today everything, huh? I was thinking within myself, that these guys are talking in their loving mother tongue, Gujarati. They enjoy. But what about others, those who have difficulty understanding? But I think they are typing, right? Okay, which is good. But anyhow, we had a nice discussion, panel discussion. Thank you, panel. And I was expecting for your father, Das Kaka, only one word, તું ગાંડી છે દાયકાર થવાની છે. આજે કંઈક બીજું કહ્યું એમણે. ગાંડી કેમ બોલાવે છે? કોક વખત સારું. ચાલો સરસ. Do you want to continue or આરતી કરવાની છે? લાવો સરસ 2 મિનિટ ધૂન કરીએ. Let us pray again that we all rise to that level. We all enjoy every moment of our life, right? And there are people, they say that you cannot enjoy every moment of the life. And they are right also. Okay, we'll do Duna. Sajanand Swami Maharaj Ni Jai. Samnarayana, 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 Samnarayana. Samnarayana, 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 Samnarayana. Samnarayana, 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 Samnarayana. Samnarayana, 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 Samnarayana. Samnarayana, 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 Samnarayana. Gunatitanand Swami, Gopalanand Swami, Krishna Ji, Adajaga Swami, Bhagat Ji Maharaj, Shastri Ji Maharaj, Yogi Ji Maharaj, Kaka Ji, Papa Ji, Hari Prasad Swami, Pramokh Swami, Mahan Swami, Jas Bhai, Sai Bakshar Vihari Swami, Mahendra Bapu, Raju Bhai, Ramesh Bhai, Vasi Bhai, Bharat Bhai, Arun Bhai, Ashwin Bhai, Harakchand Bhai, Kanti Bhai, Shanti Bhai, Suresh Bhai, Yogini Ben, Pratima Ben, Sharda Ben, Jayu Ben, Lilu Ben, Malti Ben, Bharti Ben, Ba Ben, Tara Ben, Jyoti Ben, Prem Ben, Bela Ben, Anandi Ben Das, Swami Prem, Swami Kuthari, Swami Mukunjivan, Swami Sahastri, Swami Nirmal, Swami Shanti Bhai, Ashwin Bhai, Gansham Bhai, Kanti Kaka, Pranbhai Lad, Malkani Seth, Kishore Bhai Master, Hansa Didi, Himmat Swami, Harbi Sai Gunati Swarup Hoye Maharaj, हमारा गुनाह माफ कर जो, सर्वना देशकार सुधार जो, सर्वेने सुखिया सुखिया कर जो, बड़ बुद्धि ने प्रेरणा આપજો. ये महाराज हमारी भूल चूक થઈ હોય તો માફ કરજો. આપના ગમતામાં સહેજે સહેજે વર્તાવજો. સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય જય જય. आज के आनंद की जय जय जय. सद्गुरुदेव की जय जय जय. सर्वे गुणातीत स्वरूपोनी जय जय जय. आर्तिक्यम समर्पयामि.
We'll go for dinner and then we have activities at 10 o'clock. So we will again come back at 10 o'clock. Sahajanand Swami Maharaj. आरती के बाद डिनर है और एट 10 बजे फिर से एक्टिविटीज़ है. सो किसी जिसने भी वो कप अभी पिकअप नहीं किए हैं, कॉफ़ी मग वो प्लीज़ पिकअप कर ले. कॉफ़ी मग में ऑल्सो किचन है फॉर फॉर की.
पामर पद